I heard a rumor that Frank and Elfrid both went back to the Garden last night. Who did they meet with and what did they learn? We saw it tonight.
Yeah, crazy game. Let's get into the video.
Take notes.
Big Meech.
We're here.
I'm an analyst.
It's different this time.
What's up, guys? Knicks win a basketball game against the Milwaukee
Huge basketball game.
Bucks. I know, we led them the entire way. 130 to 110. Good basketball around. Let's get into the stats really quickly. Knicks shoot above 50% from the field, 55%. We shoot 60% from 3, 59, close enough. Listen, whenever the Knicks shoot well from 3, I'm going to exaggerate. And 82% from the line. Honestly, just from a shooting perspective, that's incredible numbers. Everyone played well today for the most part, and some standouts as well. But the Knicks win, and again, they were fun. Even in the games we've lost, right? We've had good first halves and fallen off. Today we didn't fall off. We were fun the whole time. Good basketball. What's not to love?
What's not to love? So the Knicks have done this before. When for some reason they play like one of the hardest teams to play. I mean, literally, I turned on the game and I was like, oh, they're losing this game. This is the Bucks. You know what I mean? And so the thing is, when they come out and play like this, I'm kind of like, okay, that means that you guys can do this. So why is this not coming consistently every night? I have to say, I'm putting all of the credit on the coach.
Yep.
He knows what he is doing. He spoke specifically about them being able to play a 48-minute game.
Yep.
We saw them play really well in the opening halves of the last couple of games. And then we saw them just start tumbling down once the third quarter came around and not being able to finish out, not just the game, but the quarters. Because how you end a quarter, you know, that's why that buzzer beater shot is so exciting, because even buzzer beater like at the end of the quarter, right? Because it's you sort of putting the finishing touch on that quarter. So Tim spoke about that. We finally, are we going to start talking about players? Let's go. Let's go with the starting line. Let's go with the starting lineup and our point guard, Elfrid Payton, who we were dissing.
I mean, everyone was. Don't put it on us.
No. I'm saying we as a community, we as a Knicks community, we're all dissing him. He went last night, got his little MSG juju, and came back to prove a point. You know what? Sometimes these guys need to feel badly about their performance to really give the extra energy. And again, I'm accrediting that to Coach Thibodeau.
It's like you said, it's that pressure, that fear can push guys to another level. With Elfrid, you know, he's anointed as starter at the beginning of the season. Everyone's pretty upset about it. We were upset when he got re-signed. But I was kind of understanding. I'm like, look, IQ's going to come off the bench. He'll earn that spot in no time. IQ obviously goes down. Probably going to miss maybe another game. Elfrid Payton gets in there, and he has the worst 2 games you could imagine to start the season. It's not even like he was playing at the level he was last year, right? When he was at least solid or decent, if not just below average. He wasn't really someone who was like looking like a non-NBA player. He starts this season off, and he looks worse than everyone. Dennis Smith Jr. is bad as well. So there's no one there. IQ is injured. The whole team is falling apart. Elfrid comes out tonight and gives you 27 points, which is that's as much as he's probably going to score in the next 5 games. But he gives you 27 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. He's hitting threes. He's getting in the lane. He's hitting floaters. He's flowing, playing defense. Really good game from Elfrid tonight. It's good to see guys respond, even if I don't believe they're long-term parts for the Knicks. As just a player, good to see him. He knew. He even tweeted today something about God, like trust in God. And I think, everything that's been happening since the season started was weighing on him. And tonight you saw him play free, you saw him play with confidence. And unfortunately, in a way, he's pretty much going to start now for the foreseeable future. I want to see how they work IQ in. But if Elfrid's going to play like this, and he won't do this every night, he 100% will not do this every night. He did not just become this guy 7 years into his career. Exactly. But he doesn't have to be this good. That's the thing. He just has to be okay. And he did it tonight.
I actually prefer to see, he's, like you said, he scored 27 points. He's probably not going to score that again for the rest of the season, to be honest. Right? To be honest. However, we don't need him to score that much. We just need to see some consistent play. And the consistent play could be 12, 15 points. That's it. And give us the off the ball movement. Give us, give us that point guard that we need on the floor to assist the other players and to help the team, because it's not always about scoring points, but there are so many other ways to help your team to achieve the team goal, right? So yes, we loved what we saw from him tonight, and I wanted, more than anything, just want to see consistency with that sort of level of basketball.
Yeah, the thing is, so for Elfrid, it's really about shooting more than anything. He does everything else at an okay level. The first 2 games, he did nothing at a good level, but his career issue has been his shooting. Before this, I don't have the stats in front of me, but it was atrocious. He had pretty much missed everything. Comes out tonight, he's hitting threes. Like we said, this is not going to happen. Elfrid is not suddenly a good 3-point shooter. Once you can hit a couple, keep the defense honest, that's going to make a difference. Now to a guy who has maybe been the player of the season so far, which is crazy to say.
I know where you're going. Julius Randle.
Julius Randle.
This is Julius Randle. This is the Julius Randle we wanted to see last year.
Yep.
I'm also here. So we've all been kind of going off on him also and saying we don't see the leadership, we don't see this, don't see that. We're not seeing everything very clearly, because I'm hearing that he is playing that leadership role, and he is actually helping these guys to get better. He's talking about it. They're talking about it. So he's doing something right. And this is what we wanted to see. He's playing the game. What was his assist points tonight?
Well, he had 29 points. Listen to the stat line. It's crazy. He had 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 assists. That's like a LeBron stat line.
Yeah.
He's doing everything. And he's actually been, RJ had a rougher game but came on later today. But you could argue that Randle has been the best player on the Knicks so far this season.
He probably has. I mean, definitely solid, definitely consistent. And all I can say is this is the play we wanted to see. Now, are they letting him shine like this to set him up for a trade later on? Right? Or are we like, oh, okay, this is fitting right and we want to keep him? Because you're saying he's our best player, right? So why would we get rid of our best player? Now, I know Austin Rivers hasn't played yet. And what I feel is someone else that hasn't played as yet. We haven't seen play yet as well.
It's really Austin. The thing is, though, Randle is better than Austin. Even if Austin Rivers plays well, he's not better than Julius Randle.
Different position, obviously, so that doesn't really count. Right?
Yeah. The thing with Randle, I would say, is the biggest issue is you drafted Obi Toppin. So if Julius Randle at like 26, whatever he is, once you want him to be your long-term power forward, then you should have drafted someone else there. This is way too early to have this conversation. Yeah. Most likely. Well, 3 games. 3 games. I might give Julius credit. Listen.
Oh, actually, you know what? You're right.
And honestly, even in the preseason, right? Randle, you could see he is looking to pass. He is driving the lane constantly, and it's a little bit dangerous, but he's getting in the air and then looking to find guys in the corner. All game long, you see Randle just dishing to the corner like an oversized Russell Westbrook. Even at times.
You said oversized. I got to cut you real quick. You said oversized. He actually has lost some weight. And I think that loss of weight for him has actually helped him to become a little quicker and have more agility on the court. So I think that might be some of what you're seeing as well.
Yeah, definitely. You can see his conditioning is incredible. He's always been a hard worker, but Tibbs praises his conditioning. I think this really comes down to Tibbs above all. Randle is a bucket of different talents. He can do a lot of different things. Fizdale enabled those to the detriment of the team. Tibbs is enabling those to the benefit of the team. Tibbs clearly has him playing under control. And when a guy that has these things in his arsenal plays under control and they're more effective, this is why the great players are great. All the great players can do a bunch of stuff, but they can pick and choose when to do it. So they're not just rushing the entire game. Randle, if he wants to get to that next level, it's not about just getting 20 points, 10 rebounds. It's not about the stats, honestly. Because there are games Randle had it even in preseason where you could see he played better even if the numbers didn't show it. And I think, to be fair to Randle as well, I think he can see that this is a more serious team, a more well-coached team. So I think he's also more trusting of everyone. Whereas last year, I saw times where he had the ball and I think he just didn't trust the guys around him to do the right thing, what he thought was the right thing. So then he took on too much on his own. Right. And, he could have even been like him thinking, I'm in New York now, I got to be the man, it's me. Fizz might have had to pump him up on that. Clearly, with Tibbs, the idea is not that. It's team basketball. Yep. I think RJ's kind of been the main focus, honestly, which is good. That's what we need him to grow into. But Randle has played his role so well. I'm loving the player he is right now. And I love it. Like, this is, if you go back to, like you said, if you go back to the videos we did last year before he started playing, we started seeing him.
We were so happy for him and looking for him to be that person, looking for him to be that leader. And actually, and even at that point, we knew he was going to be the best player on the team.
Yeah.
He came in with those credentials, right? He came in with the credentials of he's that caliber of player that is supposed to be the leader of our team. So can we move on to our favorite player?
I gotta rant for a second.
What do you?
He will not be stopped. The cockroach lives on. Nothing can kill him. Every year, I just have to do this every year. Frank gets buried. Trade rumors. There's 2, 3, 4 more point guards. He's the last guy in the rotation. He's not
a bum. He's a bum. He's a bum. Every other comment, right? Frank's a bum.
Exactly. And I know we're gonna get into this video, and we'll contextualize what we saw today. But here's what I'll say with Frank, right? Whether it was Hornacek with Sessions, Jack, whether it was Moutier coming later that season, Trey Burke, whether it was Dennis Smith Jr., Kadeem Allen. I know I'm missing a couple of guys already. But, even with this team, obviously, we bring Elfrid Payton back. Whichever point guard's here, Frank always ends up earning minutes because I think coaches just like what he does on the court. And I think seeing him again with Tibbs, Tibbs didn't have him as the first point guard at first. A lot of guys are injured tonight. Frank is playing, and he really takes advantage of his minutes, which is what we've been asking for Frank to do, right? Come in the game. We're not telling you got to be some high-level scorer. That's not your game. But take advantage of your minutes, make your shots, play your defense, and you're going to get minutes. And tonight, he played, he earned it, and I'm very happy what we saw from Frank.
Frank scores when he's confident.
Yep.
And before he started scoring, he had 3 for 3, right? So before he did that, there was another...
It was 4 for 4. 4 for 4 from deep.
Wow. So
yeah.
Right before he did that, there was a play where he hesitated. And
yes.
Walt mentioned it. He was like, he just doesn't play with confidence. He needs confidence. And it was like right after he said that, Frank came back. It was almost like he heard him and sort of came back.
Bobby did. There's no fans.
Oh, you know what? You're so right. And this would have been a game for the fans. Oh my God. Remember all the Greek fans that were out there the last time waiting to see Giannis? So this would have been one of those games for sure. Christmas? Are you kidding? Christmas season?
Oh, it would have been insane. We'd have been there.
But so Frank just needs to get over that confidence, or not over, but he needs to just play with confidence. And this should be a great period for him now with no fans there, for him to just really sort of flex. Just do your thing, just flex, because he can shoot, he can play, he has the mechanics of it down. He really does. And he gets in his thoughts, and he gets in his, not his feelings, he gets in his thoughts, and he just doesn't play confidently. So we saw tonight him playing confidently and scoring 12 points in 18 minutes. So I mean that's great.
I mean, that's more than you even want from Frank. Yeah. I say, in the first half he came in, obviously, like you said, Dennis Smith Jr. and these guys missing. He's a point guard off the bench. So he comes in and he immediately just gives you, he gives you good minutes. Nothing incredible. He missed a couple of shots. But this is the thing with Frank versus Dennis Smith Jr. to me. When Frank isn't playing well, he's not ruining the game for you. He just kind of isn't doing anything. And then even then, he might give you something more on the defensive
end. He will give you something. Some of those stats that are not counted. Some of those stats that are not always counted.
He'll give you a charge. He'll make the right move. There was a great play where he stayed on Giannis and then got out to DJ Augustine to contest. And Augustine missed. There's no stats for that, but it adds up. So to me with Frank, right, it's like if Frank plays, if he's good or bad, don't get me wrong, he can hurt the team offensively maybe, but he's not going to ruin the game. But Dennis Smith Jr. has been bad. He's been aggressively bad, as they say. He's losing the ball. The team falls apart. When Frank is in, the ball is moving. You can see he's willing to pass to RJ and Knox like he doesn't want the ball. It's good to see. And I thought what had disappointed me with Frank so far, I guess, this offseason, this preseason going into the preseason game, training camp, and into the beginning of the season. And obviously he was injured. We didn't see a ton of him. But Frank ended last year looking like he had crossed all those hurdles, right? He had the 20 and 10 game, youngest Knick ever with 20 points and 10 assists. You could see that his just scoring at his comfort level was on another level. And then you have the break, which is at a really bad time for Frank specifically. But you're still thinking, and he even mentioned it, right? Like how he ended the season gave him so much confidence. So I was really hoping to see him come and hit the ground running. But it's kind of struck me that Frank isn't really a hit the ground running kind of guy. Frank isn't going to just go, like how IQ just came out and said, boom. Yeah. I don't think Frank's that guy, but Frank is the guy that you got to almost tell him you trust him and needs to know he has minutes no matter what. It sounds counterintuitive. It sounds like we're babying him. But I think every player is different. I think Frank gets better and better if he knows he's playing 20 minutes every night in the same role as the backup point guard. Because you saw him today, right? After he got a little things going, he started doing more. He started dribbling a bit more. He started being a bit more, he started playing more free.
Yes.
So I'm very happy for him. You know, people were throwing flowers on his grave the last couple of days. Like, this is it for Frank. And yet again, another coach. I'm interested to hear what Tibbs has to say about him, because Frank really showed up tonight and showed a ton.
Yeah. Let's talk about your boy, Alec Burks, who is consistently giving us points. I like this guy. I like what he's bringing to the team. Veteran player, and I think everyone seems to be like gelling really well on the team so far also. And like I said, bringing us consistent points. What did he score in the last couple of games? I feel like he almost had that record, right, where he had 20 in the first 2 games. He almost tied Melo's record. He scored 18 tonight, but he did get a little bit injured, but he scored 18 in 20 minutes. Yeah.
Right? Alec Burks is a bucket getter.
Yeah.
You think about the shooting of the team, right? We had really good shooting night. When Frank shoots, I'm like, right? When Bullock shoots, I'm like, you know, when Burke shoots, I'm just like, it's going in.
Yes.
Like, I am so
very confident with his shot.
Exactly. But the thing is, he's also a smart offensive player. You can see he knows how to move. Honestly, I said this on Twitter. He almost reminds me of the way Kobe used to play. Obviously not the same level, but just the way he's moving and the shots he's taking and the confidence he's moving with. This guy can score. He scored 15 points per game last year for when he played for Golden State and Philly. But the Philly team was very good. They were in the playoffs, and he scored 15 points per game on that team. So we have a really good player. And my question is, do you trade him at the deadline? Because he's a super. It's like Marcus Morris last year, right? Remember, Marcus Morris last year was looking like a low-key superstar, but around the deadline, I think it depends on how the season goes, really. That's
yeah. Let's see how the season goes. And so, what about any other standouts? What's your hot take for the entire game?
I don't have any hot takes. Actually, I'm interested to hear what you say. I'll say shout out to 2 players. Kevin Knox, good energy again. He didn't have a big standout game, but he was on the floor getting the ball from Giannis.
Yeah, like on the floor, literally, like dived on the floor, right? Yeah. Love that energy.
Playing good defense. Like he clearly has gotten to another level of just like, this is my base level of basketball performance. I'm not going to be the guy anymore who just gets lost, right? Even in other games where like his shot isn't falling, he's being active. I love to see it. And RJ bounced back well, you know, after a poor start. Got some points late. RJ still grinding. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists.
Which is still nice. Still nice numbers. Still putting up nice numbers. Nice.
The percentages aren't great, but you know, he's pushing. RJ's not phased. You know, he's gonna keep going. Keep going. Any final takeaways from you?
Really, the coaching. I honestly, what I'm seeing is that this team is playing this well because of good coaching. That's really it.
Tibbs calling timeouts, not happy, holding them accountable, not jolly on the sidelines. I think Fizz would have been doing somersaults today. So for me, I just love, I think that they know what's expected and they're trying to live up to it. And listen, a lot of these guys are the same guys. It's not a mistake that Randle all of a sudden looks like this different player.
Right. I think he's set some high standards for them. I think he's tough. I think he, like you said, he's not smiling and whatever on the sidelines. And they are feeling like they have to live up to his expectations. That's why you're looking at these guys like Payton and Frank coming back in last night. What was last night? Boxing Day. So you're talking about right after Christmas, right? These guys play a game. They have a horrible game. They do media day. They're probably feeling not media day, sorry. They do their media interviews afterwards. And then typically they're going home. What time did that game finish? 10:30, you know, by 11 o'clock, whatever, close to midnight. These guys went back on the court. And to be honest, that's what they should be doing. You know, but I have a feeling that Tibbs probably, I don't think that he asked them to do that, but I think that they probably on their own felt like, yo, we need to go and be on that same floor, not the training facility up in Westchester. And someone please get the Knicks down to New York so the training facility can be in New York.
Yo, props to those guys, because that means, just adding to that means they rolled up late after they played. So shout out to Frank and I think 5 guys, Elfrid as well, a couple of the guys put in work. Good to see the Knicks win a big game here. I think we're going to win. We can win a lot of these random games against good teams this season. I do not care about tanking until it's said we're out of the playoff contention. I want to see these guys play hard. It's good for RJ and Frank and Knox and Mitch to be in tough games against tough players. And Giannis is one of the best players in the league, and we did a really nice job against him tonight. So go Knicks. Who did we play next?
I actually don't. Cleveland? Is it Cleveland again? I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Cleveland next.
And that's a Monday. No, it's Tuesday's game.
That's my birthday game. Yeah.
Oh, it's your birthday.
Don't ruin this for me, New York. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy the content, Like, comment, subscribe. You're gonna say it too?
I was gonna say it too. If you like
There
the
you go.
content,
That's teamwork. Also, shout out to the gift behind you that I got you for Christmas, RJ Barrett.
My Christmas gift.
There you go. Nick, the family that nicks together sticks together. Peace out, guys. Knicks win. Enjoy your night.
Peace.